Hey traders, TG Watkins here. As you can see, I'm at the beach house in the Pacific Northwest. It's a beautiful day out here. And when I'm here, I don't want to be spending a ton of time on the computer and wasting my time looking for all these new stocks and potential setups and whatever. I want that stuff brought to me. And the way we do that is we scan. So using the Moxie Indicator, I have a couple of scans, Moxie price triggers, trampoline moves, stuff like that. And today I'm going to show you how we can actually use the scanner to apply it to either your existing list or to find new names out there that are setting up properly so you don't have to waste time and you can come out here and enjoy the weather like this. All right, thanks guys. See you soon. All right, traders, TG Watkins here. As I said in the intro, this is going to be how to find setups using the Moxie Indicator. Of course, you're going to need the Moxie Indicator in order to use this. It's the indicator, it's the scanner, it's all one package, and this is the proprietary indicator that I developed years ago that has just absolutely revolutionized my trading and helped me get to where I am and become a professional trader. It just works so well for me. I love it, and now it is the only thing that I teach and use as my core trading methodology. And then with that, I get a lot of people asking about the scanner and how to use it. And I thought, hey, since we've got a lot of new people in here, I'm going to go out there, make a YouTube video so that anybody who has the tool can see this, or anybody who does not have the tool can actually start to see the power of the Moxie Indicator and the scanner. And then maybe you would be encouraged to come over and pick it up and start benefiting from it. So let's dive into it. And a couple things that I'm going to show you just kind of right off the bat, and then I'll show you how to do this. One thing that you should know about Thinkorswim, and I'm not entirely sure about other platforms, maybe they have the same thing, but if you look over here on the left hand side, you have Watchlist. And the thing I love about Thinkorswim is that you can actually take a scan parameter and you can turn it into a watch list. So for example, if I come over here and I have my watch list, and you come over to see here, you can see all these things with the targets on them. These are scans, and that you can turn into watch lists. So for example, let's just click on the Moxie price trigger long hourly. That means I want to see the Moxie price trigger on the hourly time frame populating, and then here it is. Now what that allows me to do is to sort this. You can also, with Thinkorswim, you can have it make noise when one comes on or one comes off. That might get a little annoying. I have mine silenced. And so what this does is it means you don't have to keep scanning throughout the day, whatever. This will actually automatically populate anytime that condition is met, and that is an amazing thing. So from here, how do I want to scan? Well, maybe I just want to scan alphabetically. Maybe I want to scan on percent change, like show me all the big winners or the big losers today. Or maybe I want to say like, well, just show me the good stuff that has a ton of volume, and then I can kind of make my own decisions from there. This is a great thing. And so this morning, this list would have been empty. And only throughout the day, as this condition is met, do these names populate. And that is another great way to find active names right now. For example, I know that LTBR is one of them. I saw this thing going. Granted, it is from earnings, but you can see that it has a hourly Moxie price trigger. So right there. And in fact, it's had a few of them. Now, mostly it's because it's been chopping sideways, so you can see the Moxie Indicator's kind of been chopping sideways too, but it is right there, and that brought this stock to your attention. That is the whole point of a scanner, is to simply bring ideas, hopefully timely ideas, to your attention. It does not mean that every single stock on here is good or tradable. It's just to bring ideas to you so that you'll miss things. Now, I have multiple scanners. I have an hourly Moxie price trigger. I have a daily Moxie price trigger. And this would be showing up on both, since we have a Moxie price trigger showing up on both. And that might be another way to correlate this and say, oh, hey, a stock is showing up on multiple time frames. Maybe I should really go look at it. LTBR, as I said, I know about this one, and so that was very timely to see that one doing very well. The other thing is, when you get the Moxie Indicator and you get the package with it, you also get this thing, and we call it the Moxie Watchlist. And what it is you can see that it is a way to take your watch list or the scanning watch list, and you can then separate it even further via the Moxie Indicator here. And what this does is it tells you, you can organize it. You can say, well, tell me all the stocks in my watch list that have the weekly Moxie Indicator above or below 0. Great, you can look at that. Or if you want to look at a particular stock, you can say, tell me what it looks like, or you can sort by that. So you can see here, you can sort above, and then if you scroll down, you can see which ones are below. Then you can see actually the ones that are being actively crossing above or actively crossing below. Great, that's a great way to sort
through here to kind of tell you, hey, what's the condition? Same thing with daily. Now this one is the daily trigger. I decided to make an extra little something here and say, hey, well, how soon or how far in the past has the Moxie indicator triggered on the daily chart? And as you can see here, this says 2D down. So that means 2 days ago, the Moxie price trigger on this particular stock went down or fired down. Let's see GDRX. I'm just kind of looking at that one. So let's type in GDRX. And you look here on the daily chart, and sure enough, 2 days ago, Moxie indicator fired down. Great. Kind of tells you a little bit about that, doesn't it? Or we can look at here. I know this one's a little bit tough to see. These are 2 days up. So let's look at that. Maps. That is weed maps. So let's kind of take a look at that one, MAPS. And so 2 days ago, this Moxie indicator fired up. Sure did. Yes, it did. So that is another way for you to kind of figure out when these things happened, or if there's something actionable. Because if there's a Moxie price trigger that fired up or down in the last 2 or 5 days, maybe you want to know about it because maybe something on that particular stock has just changed. So we have 2 days down, 2 days up, we have 5 days down, and we have 5 days up, and we have none. You know, maybe the Moxie indicator has been above or below 0 for quite some time. So that is a great way to kind of look into the past on this indicator and see what's happening. And then you can sort via the Moxie Daily, Moxie Hourly, which is the same as the Moxie Weekly. Hey, show me all the things that have the Moxie indicator above 0. Okay, and this is a big list since the market's pretty strong right now. And then you come down here, show me all the stocks that have the Moxie indicator below 0. And that just kind of helps you. Now, if you didn't want to sort it that way, you could say, well, I want to look at a particular name and see what it does. All right, let's look at Docu here. If we come across and look at Docu, you can see that it has the hourly Moxie indicator below 0. It has the daily Moxie indicator below 0. It has not crossed recently, but it does have the weekly Moxie indicator above 0. So let's go take a look at Docu. Probably not going to be looking too hot, wouldn't you think, based on those interpretations? And yeah, not looking fantastic. And what you can see here, that this is showing you, according to how I sorted it using the Moxie indicator scanner, is yep, it definitely has the Moxie indicator below 0. And yep, it definitely has the hourly Moxie indicator below 0. And it's been that way for a while. There is no recent cross down here on that. And then the weekly, we just don't even need to look at it. It happens, the Moxie indicator happens to be above 0, but there's just nothing actionable to the upside. In fact, if you're a bear and you want to be trading these things, then you can use the Moxie indicator to help you figure out bearish trades. And you can see here where price ran right into the underside of a downtrending daily 50. Perfect. And in fact, if you really want to be bearish, the Moxie indicator fired down way, way, way back here. And so if you were scanning back then, that would have come up on your scanner as well. And look at this. If you wanted to be more relevant, look here. Here is a Moxie price trigger on the hourly chart. So if you happen to be scanning or had your scanner show scanning for a Moxie price trigger short on the hourly chart, that would have shown up then as well. And then if you wanted to, you could have taken a trade if the setup was looking good. All right. So those are the basic things. I really want you guys to know that this is a, let's go, there you go. It's got to populate. That this is a great way to sort your existing watch list or to sort a scanning watch list. I don't think a lot of people know about this one. I don't talk about it too much. It's pretty fun, kind of handy. And then also to use the Thinkorswim feature to where you can scan actively right here. You don't have to always go back. Let me figure out one more. Let's see, Moxie price trigger. Let me get long up here. Moxie price trigger long daily. Let's do that and see if there are any other interesting ones that we can look at that I happen to know. Let's see. Let's do volume. Might know a couple of these things. Tiva. All right. Let's see if Tiva's do anything. Well, there's your daily Moxie price trigger. Okay. Maybe there's something there as price kind of comes through. And ACB. That's another one. This is cannabis. Now, as we know, been a little bit choppy in through here. I think that some things are changing for cannabis, but look, it is showing up on both the daily and the hourly. Maybe a little bit of a look back on the hourly, but that's something to know about. Now, the other thing, these are for Moxie price triggers. This is when the Moxie indicator crosses above or below 0. So you can see above 0, and if it's red, you can see here it's crossing below 0, or here it's crossing below 0. Moxie price trigger. And that's usually a timely thing. I do have an example of where maybe you want to see and know that these things fired off previously. I think it was Ion Q. If we come in through here, Yeah, not quite what I was looking for. This is technically a trampoline move. This will kind of roll into the next thing I was going to be talking about. So here on the daily chart, here's a Moxie price trigger. Okay, that fired. And this stock has been going up, but what you can see is what happens if this actually ends up being a good entry? And you're like, hey, that Moxie price trigger fired weeks ago. How am I ever supposed to find this? Well, number one, you'll find it because of the hourly chart. But number two, if you ever want to find a good dip buy, then it's what I call a trampoline move. And a trampoline move is when price is below the 50, but the Moxie indicator is above 0. I know this looks close, but technically the Moxie indicator is still above 0. And so this is what I call the trampoline move. And we can scan for this. This is really, really amazing. You can scan for the condition of when price is below the 50, but the Moxie indicator is above 0. And that's what I call a trampoline move. Here, let's go over here. Let's see. And we have, let's go ST, and we want to see trampoline scan daily. And let's see what kind of pops up and if there's anything that we can find. Oh, CLSK. Let's see what Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin type stock. Now, as you can see, it is still going down. We do have price below the 50, Moxie indicator above 0. It is, remember, this is just a scan. This is a potential setup. It might be something I don't want, what I want to watch for, but I need to wait until the hourly chart starts to set up. We are seeing clues, but nothing absolutely there, and so we might want to give that a little bit more time. But it is now on my list. Let's make sure we start watching that. Let's see, here's another one, SMR. I think we all know about that one. It's another very popular one. And let's see in through here. Same deal. This is a great way to start looking for pullbacks. Obviously, it's a little bit too soon, a little bit too early, but that's something we want to know about. If you want to see how these things actually work, I'm just looking back here. Look at this hourly chart, and you can see this is a trampoline move on an hourly time frame. You see how price is below the 50. You see how the Moxie indicator is above 0. This is why when people ask me, like, how do I find my stocks, or how do I make sure I don't miss something? Using the Moxie indicator and its scanners between the price trigger and the trampoline move, depending on what time frame you're looking for, you will find most setups. Because number one, you'll either find it when it starts to fire off, or number two, you'll find it on a pullback. One of those two situations. And you can see here, that is where you would find both for SMR back before this thing really started taking off. I mean, look at this, $14, and now it was, it was upwards of almost $55. So there's your trigger, there's your buy the dip opportunity. You can even see here, that's another one. There's price below the 50, Moxie indicator above 0. This chart, this stock would have been showing up on your trampoline scan and price trigger scan multiple times before it really, really took off. And then you even would have seen it here on the daily chart. So really very, very powerful. This is why I love it. And then let me show you if you can actually go into the actual scan. So if you come over here, you click on scan, do this, and when you buy this from Simpler Trading, you'll have it already, you'll have it downloaded up, and then you'll put it into the Thinkorswim. And then you come over here, let's see, maybe make the right one, you say load scan query, and I already have these preloaded, and you're going to say, Moxie scan trampoline hour, or Moxie, I think we have ST, there we go, ST Moxie price trigger hourly. And you just click on those, you name them, click on them, there you go. And then you can make your own kind of custom scan if you want. You can say, hey, what's the minimum price? What's the maximum price? How about volume? These are kind of the basics that I think. You could also say, hey, I want this above or below certain moving averages, and you can scan that way. Now remember, you can save this as an active watch list, which I believe, if you come over here, there you go. See that? Save as watch list. So whatever custom scan that you create, you can create it as a watch list, and then that brings you over here on the left hand side to where you can pull up your scanned watch list, and it populates automatically. It is amazing. It's so easy to work with, and then you don't have to worry about rescanning and doing all that kind of stuff. One other thing I want you guys to know, if you do have the Moxie indicator, leave the custom settings alone, okay? Please do not mess with them. I get people asking me all the time, hey, I was trying to change this, I was trying to change this, I wanted to change the time frame. Don't change it, okay? There's a lot of custom stuff in here. I know it looks weird, and it looks like it should be a simple change. It's not. We've had to do a lot of work, okay? So just leave it alone. If you want to change time frames, then you go to a different time frame. Like this is the price trigger long. If you want to on the hourly chart. If you want the price trigger long on the daily, then you need to select the daily. Don't go messing with the Moxie indicator stuff, okay? It's just going to screw you up, and then you're going to have to just go back and start over again, okay? So I think that for the most part, tells you everything that you need. Let's see if there's just kind of any other fun things that I can look at through here. In fact, let's say this is almost a little backwards, because if we're looking for a trampoline move, probably wouldn't expect them to be positive since we're looking for price to come down. Let's see, RV, LV, I kind of know that one. Let's see if there's anything to say about this one. This is a Moxie trampoline, I think it was daily, and yet it's positive. So this could actually be where we are starting to see the dip turn around. So you see in through here, we have the daily chart below the daily 50, the Moxie indicator above 0, got some squeezes, and yet price is up. This would definitely start being put on my watch list if I thought that this was going to be a buy the dip opportunity, because if you are dipping on the daily chart, in order to not catch a falling knife, you want to see price actually start to turn around, and you start figuring that out on the hourly chart. Still just a little bit early, but certainly something I would keep on my watch list for sure. And let's see, LBRT, I think that's actually different. I think it was LTBR is the other one. Yeah, that's nothing. And then we kind of scrolling through. I'm just kind of, ELF. I think they just had earnings. Where did I see it? Right there. Let's see. There you go. See, this is some fun stuff that you can start finding when you look and use the Moxie scanner. See how price is below the 50, Moxie indicator above 0? Okay, and it just had earnings, didn't it? And look at this thing, right back up. In fact, you can see on the hourly chart you had price down, Moxie indicator up. Yeah, if this thing actually starts to engage with these moving averages and move up, you might want to know about this. This could actually end up being a great dip buy on the hourly chart, especially now that it had earnings and it actually went up on earnings. That is a great example of how to use the scanner to find these things. And yeah, all right. So I think we pretty much run with that. Remember, Moxie price trigger, if you use whether it's the daily, hourly, or even the weekly Moxie price trigger, you're going to be coming across setups like that. There's the Moxie price trigger. Or you're going to be coming across setups like that. There's the Moxie price trigger. You see how important this is? If you were scanning for this, there you go. There is the move. I'm telling you, the Moxie indicator is amazing when it comes to timing. And there's the move on the daily chart. Of course, it's going to find garbage. Of course, you got to look at this stuff and see what the good stock is. But the Moxie indicator is almost always there along the ride and will trigger when you get a good stock and a good move. Okay, guys? So I hope you're having a great time. Remember, feel free to ask me any questions. We do have customer support for you. And if you want to pick up the Moxie indicator, come over to simplertrading.com/Moxie or just simplertrading.com. Look for the tool. And we got all the sorts of material for you so you can get up to speed and learn it right away. All right. Thanks again. See you soon.